Hello and welcome to today's Risk and Regulation channel. My name is Christoph and I'm here today together with my leading regulatory reporting and disclosure experts Maria and Michael. And I'm happy to present to you today some regulatory updates around the Pillar 3 disclosure reports. At the moment, literally every bank is heavily working on the implementation of the CRR3. They are talking about the fundamental review of the trading book, a new standardized approach for credit risk, and of course, the very famous output floor. However, this is only one part of the story. The other part of the story is all around regulatory reporting updates and, of course, Pillar 3 disclosures. With the introduction of the CRR3, we will see, among other things, a complete new idea of how institutions should present and publish their Pillar 3 disclosure reports. We are here talking about a single point of access for everyone who is interested in regulatory key performance indicators, key risk indicators, published and presented by the EBA on the so-called Pillar 3 Data Hub. So this is a complete new idea instead of the today's world where every bank is publishing Pillar 3 disclosure reports somewhere on their homepages and wherever they want. So, Michael, maybe I can start with you today. What is the Pillar 3 Data Hub and what is new about that?
Yes, what's so great about the Pillar 3 Data Hub is basically, as you have already said, beginning from the Pillar 3, the main idea was always the Pillar 3 report gives me like this concrete overview over a bank. But what we have seen in the last years is that the Pillar 3 report is often buried somewhere in sub-pages of websites, and the regulator has identified this as an issue and therefore has addressed this by creating the Pillar 3 Data Hub, which will be active from 2025. Again, with a proportionality principle, depending on the size of the institution, there are different ways how the Pillar 3 Data Hub will affect institutions. So for large and corporate institutions, the XBRL files and the PDF files will directly be submitted to the EBA. For small and non-complex institutes, only the regulatory supervisory data has to be submitted via the usual processes via national agencies. What's the difference between having it on the website or having it on the EBA website? Basically, it is now gives like the external investor or the public complete transparency about Pillar 3 reports within Europe, because all of the, as we have heard, all of the reports will be machine readable and accessible via the Pillar 3 Data Hub. So there is transparency among like all the banks. It is comparable. You can really put each Pillar 3 report next to each other, or even do some analysis on the provided data. And have like a complete overview about the Pillar 3 data within Europe. For small non-complex institutes, there is even the report is going to be generated by the EBA system. Based on the Pillar 3 mapping tool. So what's the timeline for the Pillar 3 Data Hub? We have seen first consultations, for example, for large institutions, how they should apply the Pillar 3 Data Hub. What we know so far is the first reporting reference date for large institutions will be June 2025, and for small and non-complex institutions, the December 2025 reference date. From the recent publication on the ITS for the large institutions for applying the Pillar 3 Data Hub, we have presented the key facts on this slide. Basically, the most important information is that there is no clear guidance that this Pillar 3 data has to be directly submitted to the EBA. There has to be a defined contact person from the institution, and there has to be sign-off from management. And also the EBA clearly stated in the consultation paper that even if the data is hosted on the EBA Pillar 3 Data Hub, still the responsibility for the data lies with the institutions. Another interesting aspect about the consultation paper are the submission deadlines for institutions. Overarchingly in the CRR is stated that the Pillar 3 data has to be published on the same day as the financial statements, or as soon as possible afterwards. And exactly for this definition, so this as soon as possible afterwards, the consultation paper contains information, and we have also put this on this slide. So for the first time, we see exactly a clear guidance when the Pillar 3 data has to be published. For example, if for the year-end reports with December reference date, meaning that the reporting reference date December is December, year-end December, the publication has to be done by end of June. An exception are the remuneration templates with a time frame up until end of August of the year. When there is a differentiation between the year end, so the calendar year end, and the fiscal year, then it's the reference date of the year end of the fiscal year plus 6 months, and again an exception for remuneration templates. So for these templates, 8 months. For quarterly reports, accordingly 4 months, so reference date plus 4 months, and semi-annual, it's the reference date also plus 4 months. And when we look now at the next slide, we can see the precise guidance, what this means exactly for the data, so the clear guidance technically what this means. So when we have these two big types of data, we have in the Pillar 3 data, we have the quantitative data, and we also have the qualitative data, meaning the PDF. And also the consultation paper clearly defines the quantitative data has to be available as an XBRL file, and the qualitative data has to be in a PDF as a machine readable format. These two types of data both will be submitted via a zip file, and when a resubmission has to be done, then the resubmission has to be also done with the zip file and per module. There were also some clarifications on the languages, meaning that again, still institutions can report in their national language, but also in English or both as they like. But the XBRL taxonomy is still defined in English. Yes, and for the national currencies, the applicable ones can be used. Back to you, Christoph.
Thank you, Michael. I think it's a very interesting starting point, I would say. I was very curious to understand the timeline and the submission deadline. So at least what we know here from Germany, there's this unwritten rule, so to speak, of you have 4 weeks time after your financial statement were published to also publish your disclosure reports. Now EBA is obviously publishing some new expectations to somehow publish it in accordance with your financial statement or as soon as possible thereafter. So I will be very curious to see what the market practice will bring if we have now more time, which I cannot really believe, to publish to the market, or if the market practice, the benchmark, will even tighten the deadlines further for the institutions. So thanks for the insight, but probably here, Maria, back to you. So there are quite a number of topics to encounter. what do you think? How are market participants at the moment responding to this new development, to the establishment of the Pillar 3 Data Hub?
So especially on this case, the EBA is involving and also encouraging the institutions to submit their feedback. Overall, the public institutions and the banking stakeholder group welcome the establishment of the Pillar 3 Data Hub. Especially, they appreciate the transparency that it will bring, and also they appreciate centralizing the data, which will significantly reduce the time for retrieving the data, analyzing and benchmarking the data. But that said, however, there are also challenges coming with this establishment. For instance, some of the banks currently lack the IT capabilities and also the resources to generate such a XBRL CSV file, which will inevitably lead to higher costs. So, and since the whole disclosure preparation process is affected and the refinement of the requirements are still ongoing, there will be some uncertainties affecting the institutions in the long run. There are also concerns about the ambitious timeline for June 2025, and especially considering the interdependencies with implementing the banking package of CRR3.
Yeah, that's cannot agree more. This is also what I hear in the market in our projects. So probably to elaborate a bit more on those challenges and what probably the solutions can look like. What do you think are the key challenges, and how do we react as consultants? How do our clients react to those challenges at the moment?
So banks are certainly faced with certain challenges, and to comply with the Pillar 3 Data Hub requirements, one of the foremost challenge is indeed the generation of the XBRL files with the validation rules, and this is something that it has to be done for the first time, and this has an effect, a huge effect on the processes and the systems, and for that reasons, banks need to adapt their processes and also look for certain software solution to comply with. Second, as the preparation and the submission of disclosures become more technical, manual processes might be one case that will increase the time process itself. So it would mean more workload for the employees. And to encounter this issue, automatization will allow institutions to be more time effective and to be more efficient. And also regarding automatization, possible errors due to manual processes might also be reduced and mitigate the errors on that. Another challenge is to ensure the consistency between XBRL files for the quantitative and the PDF file for the qualitative data, and to be able to align these two files. So also again, automatization can help the cross-validation between these two files. And also, as mentioned, another challenge is the short implementation timeline, with the first submission already in June 2025. And herefore, establishing a clear project plan will help to sufficiently allocate the necessity of the resources and to meet the deadline. And last but not least, institutions have to make sure that the submitted data is in a certain quality standard as the EBA is requiring, and therefore the validation is essential.
True. I think we will come back to that when we summarize the key insights here to the data quality aspects. But probably before we go to that point, what are the next steps for our clients? What do we see in the market? What should they do in the next few weeks, in the next few months, to get ready for the Pillar 3 Data Hub? So what's on your agenda at the moment?
So in the first step, banks should conduct an initial analysis of the impact of Pillar 3 Data Hub on their current processes and systems. In the short run, they should develop a detailed implementation plan with the resources they need. They should design internally control systems, and after that, setting up their plan, it is time to test and to operationalize this plan, and to make sure that to comply with the data quality and consistency. And in the long run, given the technical nature of these changes, banks should assess the potential operational impact, including possible adjustments of internal processes or adjustments on IT infrastructure. So overall, yes, the deadline from EBA is ambitious, but with a clear implementation plan and to make sure that the compliance, to be able to comply with the high quality data, this is what the institutions need to do next to set up their plan, yes.
Okay. Thanks, Maria. Thanks, Michael. So you are the experts, you are in the projects, and I enjoyed to learn a bit about those insights. In my very own words, if I may summarize it, I would say there are probably two leading challenges at the moment. So first of all, Pillar 3 Data Hub needs to be implemented by every bank. Differentiated between large banks and other banks, true, but still Pillar 3 Data Hub will be there for everyone in the end. And this leads to some implementation work, at least I would say. So we are talking about new processes, we are talking about new policies and procedures and so on and so forth. So this is, I believe, business as usual when some new regulation will enter into force and you need to adapt to it, first of all. Second, and this is even more important, at least also from a strategic perspective, is whenever you now publish your Pillar 3 data, it will be very transparent, it will be very comparable. Every stakeholder, every interested party, be it shareholder, be it a rating agency, whatever, whoever is interested in your data can retrieve it from a single access point, can compare it with your peer group in a very automated manner. Machine readable text is even required, and so on and so forth. So there is definitely a need for increasing data quality and consistency in your Pillar 3 Data Hub and Pillar 3 report for the Pillar 3 Data Hub. And this is, I believe, the overarching theme about this whole story. Of course, this is intended to be, but also leads to a couple of challenges for the institutions that need to go probably one step further compared to the current stage. What we can do as PwC, as your consultant, is probably to bring in all our knowledge, first of all, in terms of regulatory reporting and disclosure. So we have decades of experience in implementing CRR1, CRR2, CRR3 requirements also for reporting and disclosure. So this is, of course, our daily business. But second, we are very much very closely working together with our experts from the risk data aggregation expert teams. Here we are talking about elements from BCBS 239. We are talking about data management, data governance. This will enter now the sphere of Pillar 3 data and Pillar 3 reporting. And I believe if you combine these two worlds, so the expertise you gained couple of years ago when implementing BCBS 239 and what is now required for the Pillar 3 Data Hub. When you bring together these two worlds, then you will be successful also for this new part of the journey. And here, I believe, with our integrated team in our governance, risk and compliance unit, we can help you to identify probably data quality gaps, we can identify inconsistencies, and we can apply a couple of automated solutions like validation tools, consistency checkers that we do between your CoreUp files and your disclosure templates, we can generate XBRLs with our solutions and so on and so forth. So we have a couple of tools in our tool belt, and we are happy to guide you a bit through what we can do for you to assist you on this journey. That's it for the Pillar 3 Data Hub for the moment. As we speak about data quality and reporting requirements, we should not forget about the future of reporting, and this is why I want to make you aware of one event that is upcoming in the next couple of weeks, precisely on the 2nd December this year here in Frankfurt. We are very much looking forward to welcome you to our PwC office to a conference called Regulatory Reporting of the Future. We have great speakers here from the ECB, from EBA, from the BIRD steering group. So wherever you go, you should not forget about the future of regulatory reporting, and why not starting the discussion here at PwC offices in Frankfurt at the 2nd of December. Please don't wait to register, and find your way to Frankfurt. Looking forward to meeting you there, and all the best until then. See you soon.